Hi, I'm Sage Bergner. I have been weightlifting since I was 4 years old. I did my first competition when I was 6. I have two beautiful children who my son also did his first competition at 6. And I love wearing Vans.
Nice. Well, hi, Sage. Your son, it's like, it's a natural thing for him to like weightlifting. What about your daughter? Like, is she at all interested in it? Like he is?
No, he's not even interested in it at all,
Okay.
which I'm not giving up hope.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up hope. But yeah, when he did the weightlifting competition, he mainly did it because he wanted to get a medal.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we did not even prepare hardly at all. And somehow he just knew how to snatch and clean and jerk.
That's
and
amazing.
He always is playing. Like, he's not sitting there watching me work out. He's
Right.
playing. He's
Yeah.
off doing his thing, playing Beyblades, doing all this stuff. And he just knew how to do it. My daughter takes one lap around the gym and is like, I need a break. I need water. And then she's like off singing and dancing. She's like so theatrical. She doesn't talk, she sings. And everything that she does, she's like, I'm walking around the gym singing. Like, she doesn't say anything. She just sings. So no, she does not have any interest in that.
I wonder where she gets that from.
Oh my gosh. She is so theatrical.
I love it. Okay. Well, so Mike Bergner is your dad. How do you think, well, firstly, like, how is that? Because I mean, we all know and love your dad for who he is and like what he's contributed to CrossFit and the weightlifting world. You know, he's just like, I think everyone feels like they're his dad, you know, like when I see him, like, and he's very good with names. Like, he remembers everybody. Like, he only needs to meet them once and he's like got their names, who they are, where they're from, you know, and he just has this like amazing ability to make people feel so loved. So how is it him being your dad?
It's pretty awesome. He's a really good dad in the sense that, like, he'll hold you accountable. He's not going to blow smoke up your butt. He's going to tell you like it is, but he's also going to respect you enough to let you figure your own life out. He's not there to try to tell you how to live your life. If you ask, he'll give you his opinion on things, but if you don't ask, he's just going to let you make your mistakes and make your decisions, and you know, it's your life and you're going to have to live with them, you know. And so he finds that balance of like, I know I can always go and talk to him about anything, but I also know he's not going to be all up in my grill about things that I don't want to talk about or things that I don't want his opinion on. So he's a really, really good dad, and he is who he is. Like, who you guys see when you go to the games and when you meet him in real life, like, that is genuinely who he is. And he's never lost sight of that, no matter how famous he's gotten and how many people like are willing to give him their firstborn child, and they're just, you know, people like bow down to him, and he's never gotten a big head about it.
No, he never has. And what are like 3 things that, you know, he's helped like shape your life? You know, how do you think?
Well, the older I get, the more I realize I am so my father's daughter. Like, we are so similar. We are both very emotional beings. We are very in tune with our emotions. We're very passionate people, and we're total hotheads. Like, I didn't know that I had that inside of me until a little bit later on in life. I had this like temper, not like really bad, but like a little bit of a temper. And I remember my dad having that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like him, just like him. But I would say that the passion that he has for life and for lifting, I 100% have gotten that from him. Sometimes I'll be talking about weightlifting and I'm like, whoa, you need to simmer down. Like, you're literally just talking about someone bending their arms too soon. Why are you yelling? But I'm so passionate about it. And that's from growing up watching him. He's the exact same way. He gets fired up about the littlest things. And that's what makes people love him, because they can like light a fire under his ass.
Yeah.
So I would say that I've learned to like be really passionate from him about everything that you do in life. And I've also learned a lot about discipline and pushing yourself. So that's the other way that we're very similar is I will train until the day I die. It doesn't matter if I am doing nothing, if I'm not competing for anything, if I'm just like in a phase where, you know, I don't have time to do, or maybe there's no competition coming up or whatever. I'm still going to train like I'm a professional athlete.
Yeah.
I dial in my nutrition and I go to the gym twice a day and train my ass off. And people are like, what are you training for? Like, why do you go and train so much? And I'm like, I'm not training for anything right now. I'm literally just training. And that's always how my dad has been. Like the other day I decided, you know what? I'm going to go and I want to see if I can do a half marathon. And so I just went and like on a random, I think it was a Thursday morning, I went and I ran a half marathon because I needed to see if I could do it. And that's the kind of stuff where my dad's like, you're an idiot, but I would have done the exact same thing.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that whole, like, I'm just training to train. Like, I think that I used to be the same way. Like it's somewhere in there. I know it is. And whenever I start training, I'm like, oh, I love to train. Like I prefer training over competing. In my whole life, I've been able to train by myself. You know, I train in my garage gym, and Pat's different. He's like, it's really hard for him to train if he's not training for something. It's hard for him to train when there's not like 10,000 people watching him. Like he doesn't have that same internal drive that I do. So I can really resonate with that. But it's a unique characteristic to just want to work out, want to exercise hard, put yourself in that pain just for the sake of it. And it's not like because you want to look a certain way. It's not because so you can eat shitty food. It's just, it makes you feel good, and it just keeps driving that passion that you have. And I guess like, well, just jumping on to the weightlifting thing and you know, you training. So like you created that passion. Well, you didn't create it, you know, your dad helped foster that passion about weightlifting. And what I find like quite humorous is that, you know, on social media and in person, you know, you kind of tease yourself about not actually having a weightlifter's body. So you got those really long legs, and they're beautiful, you know, these beautiful long legs, and they're not the size of a normal weightlifter. And like, when did you realize that? And when did you, have you even ever thought about it? Like, have you ever cared about it? Was there a stage where you're like, man, this is like slowing me down? Or, because I remember someone saying something to me about my hips, about like, I did one of my sports that I was playing, and they were like, yeah, women with wide hips generally, like, it was this anatomical thing that they don't perform as well as women with narrow hips. And I was like, what? And I really took that to heart. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to be a good athlete because I've got these wide hips. And like, I remember really like taking it on board. And then, you know, after a year or so, I'm like, that is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard, you know? So like, yeah, how is it having a body type that's made for gymnastics and not weightlifting
and running?
Yeah.
So I knew right away, because like I said, my dad is a no bullshit kind of guy. And so it was always, you are not built to be a weightlifter, Sage. You're not built for it. Like, he sees people, and it doesn't matter how much he loves them or how much he wants them to succeed. He's that old fashioned, like, okay, that person's built for running, that person's built for this, that person's built for that. Like, there's a certain type of horse, this kind and this kind. One is meant for one is meant for the other. And so he's like, that was the thing, is you're not built to be a weightlifter. You're not going to be as good as these other girls because you don't have the genes for it. You don't have the genetics for it, Sage. And that was so hard for me because I played so many different sports growing up, and honest to God, I was better at all of them than I was at weightlifting. But I loved weightlifting. That was, and I think it was because I was told that I wasn't going to be good at it. And so I'm like, that Taurus in me, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. There's no way. This has to come down to willpower. This has to come down to just trying hard. And then for sure it's going to happen. And I used to stand in the mirror and like wish that my legs would get bigger. This was when I was like a teenage girl. Like every other teenage girl in the world wanted the legs that I have, but I wanted really short, really thick legs. That's all I wanted. And I would say that there was definitely a phase when I was in my teenage years where hearing that, like, I wasn't meant to be a weightlifter, wasn't built to be a weightlifter, it definitely messed with me. I went through a lot of like doubt, and my weightlifting really plateaued because I was like, I agreed to that. I made an agreement like, okay, I'm going to accept that about myself then, that maybe I'm just not built for that. And my weightlifting just went down. My performance went down. My love for it went down. And it was shitty because it turned this thing that I absolutely love, and it went from being the best thing in my life to the thing that brought me the most pain and, struggle. So, I would say it wasn't until maybe like 5 years ago, if that I started taking it personal again. Like, it was almost like, okay, well, Dad, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. That, like, it doesn't matter how you're built. If you work your ass off, that's all that matters. All that matters is your effort. And that was kind of around the time where, like, Ben Bergeron started talking a lot about that. Like, I don't care about your placing out on the floor. I don't care about if you win the CrossFit Games. All I care about is your effort in that exact moment. And then I remember around that time too, I read this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's a pretty popular one going around. And she was talking about fixed mindset and growth mindset. And that was right around the time where I was like believing, well, this is just who you are. This is just how you're built. And I'm like, oh my God, she wrote this book about me. This is literally me. And so then I started kind of changing that, like, okay, well, I can do something about it. And then it kind of, like, long story made even longer, kind of all spiraled into this, like, when social media started becoming bigger, people were like, man, you're so small, your legs are so long, like, how are you lifting this weight? Which the amount of weight I lift is not impressive by any means when it comes to, like, the top dogs, but just general CrossFitters were like, how are you so small? Like, that's really inspiring for me. And so then it was kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be my thing. Like, I'm gonna be that person who's not built for this sport, who's going to try every fucking thing out there until I find the thing that's going to make me the strongest I've ever been.
Great.
I'm going to do accessory work. I'm going to try new different shit. I'm going to try running. Is that going to make my legs stronger? I'm going to try doing this. Is that going to make my legs stronger or be stronger overall? And then now it's those people that I work with remotely, those people who have all felt like, yeah, I know I'm not really meant to do this sport, but I love it so much.
That's
and
amazing.
I really want to be good at it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, girl, or yeah, boy, I feel the same. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just do it because we love it and because we want to be as strong as we can be. Let's not do it because of where we could rank on the national platform or how genetically gifted we are. Like, what's the fun in that? Like,
Right.
let's find the joy and the challenge of having everything against you. The odds are against you, but you still manage to do something cool.
Totally. And I
You know what
think,
I mean?
yeah. And I think that, like, I mean, how great that you went through all this like strife and you came back to realizing that it didn't really matter, and the fact that you have meaning in your life because of it, you know, it makes you happy. And then now you're so relatable to, I would say, like 80% of people, right, aren't built for weightlifting, but they love it. And you're providing this kind of like, see, look, I can do it. If I can do it, then you can do it. And I think like you just hit the nail on the head too, with the whole like just doing it because it's fun. And that's kind of the whole point of living, is like you find meaning in your life and then you will be happy, and you don't worry about what other people are saying, what other people are thinking about you. That only creates more stress. And then, yeah, and I think that goes for anything like CrossFit, any sport you want to do. Like there's no prerequisite for becoming a weightlifter or for doing CrossFit, or, you know, like people coming to CrossFit and they're like, well, I'm not very good at, you know, gymnastics because I've just run my whole life. And it's like, great. That's great. Well, let's start here, you know?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I think that's how cool is that though? Like that, it just can't, like your whole life, you know, you've just been, and I think like you said, like your motivation was to prove people wrong. And like people like, well, you should have like an internal motivation. I think that's bullshit. I think that's a great motivation for some people, especially someone like you who, you know, you need that drive, you need that, like that's like that aggressive passion to just keep you going. And if that is to prove, and I think also probably, like you say, it's to prove your dad wrong, but I think it also is a little bit to prove yourself wrong, you know, and be like, just to tell yourself,
Totally.
because I'm sure you have days where you're like, oh God, these legs, like, you know, I am not built to be a weightlifter. But then it's like, no, screw that. I'm not going to tell myself that. I'm going to do this. And yeah, you're strong as hell. Like you say that you're not strong. Yeah, sure. Compared to national, international weightlifters, but compared to the regular person your size, how much do you weigh?
Like 135-ish.
Yeah. Like you're crushing it compared to just the regular person. Like regular CrossFitter, regular person just walking down the street, you know, you're going to be strong for the rest of your life. And I think, like you say, like that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And I don't think that you should ever do anything to prove anyone wrong unless in that moment that fires your ass up, then
Exactly.
great.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it's about proving yourself right, because so people are so afraid to like have belief in themselves because they think that it's arrogant or they think that it's cocky, or it's like easier to have a conversation with someone and shoot yourself down than it is to have a conversation with someone and be like, yeah, like I'm pretty amazing and I really like who I am as a person and I've done a lot of really cool shit. In our society, people are like, whoa, that chick is super arrogant. But I think it's amazing if someone can be like that. And then that gives someone else permission to believe in themselves.
Exactly.
And so it's like proving yourself right that you really do have a lot of amazing capabilities inside of you, that you really do have special shit inside of you that allows you to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to believe in that about yourself and prove yourself that you have that inside of you, that's really fucking good. You can be a humble person and still feel that way about yourself.
Totally. I agree. And yeah, it's just all in the delivery, and it's all about how you make other people feel. If you're doing it and at the same time you're making other people feel like shit, then yeah, maybe
Exactly.
you know, but if you're doing it and you're lifting other people up and being like, I'm so, you know, I feel really good about what I did, and here, let's help you do the same thing, or, you know, yeah, then I think that's really great. Well, thanks, Sage. That was really great. Good luck with everything, and yeah, I hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Taz.